Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is episode 5 of The Novelist. In the last episode, we had Dan do a bunch of writing, which has probably helped out his book significantly, but Linda did not have a very good turnout for her art, and Tommy's pretty sad and lonely. Feels like we had a net negative there, but I guess that depends on our priorities. It was certainly a net positive for Dan's career. And, putting myself in his shoes, as I've said several times throughout this series, I'm kind of focusing on Dan and his book, because that's also kind of what he wants for himself, so we'll see how we go from there. Home to a stunning display of natural beauty, Ochako National Forest is a perfect destination for hunters, wilderness enthusiasts, and weekend campers alike. One-of-a-kind rock formations provide exciting challenges for climbers. The many canyons offer scenic... It feels like that should have been a period. Anyway, the many canyons offer scenic hiking experiences, and the swimming opportunities are many. Located less than 5 hours from Portland and less than 6 from the Central Coast, Ochako is perfect for a summer getaway. For more information or to request a brochure, please call the ranger station at 555-1234.
Wait for a bit.
Anyway, alright, so... newspaper clipping. Blast off at Booster Bay. Come enjoy all the excitement of Booster Bay this weekend. We have a very special discount for all young astronauts out there. Children under the age of 12 who bring their own official Booster Bay Astrojet get free admission to the park. Take a flight to remember on our world-famous rocket coaster. Explore the inner workings of 3 model spacecraft in our educational city in the sky. Treat yourself to burgers, ice cream, cosmic cotton candy, and more in the food court of the future. There's never been a better time to visit Booster Bay, and you can't beat the price. Okay, well, obviously that's something Tommy wants to do.
Anne, what's the latest with you? I hope you're doing better than I am. I'm going a little stir-crazy. Dan loves it here, but he's just riding all day long, so he could be anywhere.
That is some
I could
bullshit.
use a change of scenery. I've walked every trail in the woods and even started a few of my own. It's great getting away from the city, but I wouldn't exactly call this roughing it. Tommy's certainly having a good time exploring the woods. Sometimes we go together, and if I'm in the studio, he knows he can play outside where I can see him, and to stay away from the cliff. Do you remember when we were kids trying to jump the creek in the woods behind the house? I think Tommy's getting into that phase now, climbing trees and all that. Oops, I got a little carried away there. You probably don't need to hear about all of our outdoor adventures. Sorry about that. Well, let me know how you're doing. Love, Linda.
Linda still has a very positive attitude, considering that she's not really getting what she wants here. I'm actually pretty surprised.
3 days in, I'm still trying to figure out where to take the new piece. It's changing as I go, which is always exciting and sort of the point, but this one feels a little aimless. I keep snapping out of a daze and realizing I've been staring out the window for 5 minutes instead of working. When we first got here, I was excited to have a studio with so many windows and so much natural light. But now it feels almost like a cage. Why be this close to nature but not be, well, in it? Actually, cage isn't the right word. This place is beautiful, and there are so many more trees than back home. I guess it's more of a reminder when it's right there the whole time, not just an idea or something for the weekend. Anyway, back to the painting. I'm not going to get anything done on it sitting here writing.
She's... the Yakamura's again requesting her mic on. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just thinking...
What if I...
Wait, whoa. The door's closed. I can't get out. Huh, I can't get out of here. Well, isn't that interesting?
When Linda said he could be anywhere, it really, tells me how she thinks. Remember that memory where Dan was asking her what was out there, and she said the whole world was out there?
Right.
She thinks in that mentality, and she applies that to everything. And it's like...
I can't even possess... Oh. Okay. I guess she just
weird.
Wanted some private time to paint?
But
I wonder if that means something, if she's shutting the door behind her now instead of, leaving it open and... allowing people to come talk to her. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. Just... It's hard not to think of other things outside of that mentality, you know? Like, she assumes, and they're both creative people, but like... And I'm not saying it's wrong of her to assume, but she assumes that when Dan is writing, it's like when she's painting.
I see what you're saying. That their
Like-
creativity engines work the same. Like
Yeah.
that, and yet she doesn't realize that they don't work
As
the same. I
someone
see.
who dabbles around in all forms of art, it's not the same.
Right. Well, and that's what I was, like, scoffing at, that, like, it isn't... Hi, Dan. It isn't the same depending on what you do. Like, or, you know, like, for me, the environment does matter when I'm writing. Like, I can't write in dead silence or in nature. It would drive me nuts. I need a good sound system and some MP3s to get anything
I've got to
accomplished.
stay on the book. This is my chance to do something people remember, something that matters.
I'm with you,
If
brother.
this one isn't good enough, there might not even be a next one. Certainly not one without all sorts of publisher strings attached. This is why we saved up enough to take the summer off. I'm out of excuses. Of course, a long weekend would be fun, but that's also the problem. How do you stay hungry when you've gotten used to weekend getaways? How do you recapture that feeling of being a broke college kid chasing a dream? How do you get back out on that limb again, scared it's gonna break, but inching out anyway? Listen to me. Wound up so tight. Maybe taking one night off might help after all.
Okay. Whoa, 8 clues? I did see a lot of stickies in his... Yep, there are a lot of stickies in his office, but this is interesting. It's the first time I've seen Tommy draw his mom. Do not fear death so much, but rather the inadequate life. Bertolt Brecht, assuming I'm pronouncing that right. One page at a time. An idea that is not dangerous is unworthy of being called an idea at all. Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde always had profound shit to say, but he was probably just pulling it out of his ass.
Jim says that you'd never make it. He's said that you're a joke. You know, I don't do well with profound quotes, but that's the kind of stuff I can get behind. I always said that if I can make it, I've mentioned before, I'm up to 28 rejections, 28 rejections and 21 no responses. Crowbeak has advised me not to count, and I get it, but I can't help counting. And I've said that if I do make it, I kind of want to take a binder, because I've saved every email and I've saved every hard copy of every rejection. And I kind of want to bind them up and stick them in a binder and keep them beside me just as inspiration if I make it. Or maybe even if I don't make it, just to remind myself that I'm not as good as I think I am.
No.
This is an opportunity, not a burden. You could be working a regular job right now. Yeah. A couple of years ago, I realized that I had to make a decision. After I graduated college, I had to make a decision about my employment because I don't really particularly like working at Walmart, but the thing is, it affords me the time where I can work at Walmart and write for IGN and write my book. And if once I graduated college, I realized that if I pursued a better career, something that supposedly worked with my 4-year degree, then I'd be making more money, but I would lose some of the time to the book. And I thought about it, and I will confess the part of my bias is that I tend to I tend to want comfort instead of take risks, but also by staying at Walmart, I did have the time to write and do have the time to write. So at least so far, I've made the right choice. But if the book doesn't pan out and it's not a success, then it's just one more bad decision I've made.
Thanks so much for your letter. It made my day. Tramer's Way came out a while ago now, so I don't get letters like this too often. Writing can be a pretty isolating profession at times, which makes it a big boost to hear that someone out there is getting something from my work. Your support means the world to me.
That's to
To
you
answer your
guys from
question,
my
I'm
heart.
indeed in the midst of writing a new book. I don't have a title or a release date yet, but I'm plugging away on it slowly but surely. I plan to finish it by the end of summer, and I truly hope you enjoy it when it comes out. Thanks again for your kind words. Dan Kaplan.
Maybe someday, John. Maybe someday. Alright, yeah. The magazines don't seem to be doing anything. I mean, I don't know what the point is of having the magazines still here when... Unless it's just a reminder that I didn't take out the ads? I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. We've got everyone's clues, so it's memory time. So Tommy happens to be here, so we'll go for his first. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. Tommy definitely wants to be an astronaut.
Careful, honey.
Okay.
Looks like there's something by the couch.
The couch? Oh, good eye. There we go. More of the same drawing. Wonder why. Alright, what would you like, Tommy? Don't want to bring my rocket if it'll make mommy sad at daddy. What? Why would it make her sad? She closed the door again. Linda's becoming more isolated. I have a feeling that's because we haven't been really talking to her. That's an interesting mechanic if that's what that means. That if she's becoming that isolated, we won't be able to save the relationship if we keep ignoring her for too much longer. I mean, I could be overthinking it, but the way the game is paced, that seems like the kind of thing that's true. So, that's really intriguing. Alright, let's explore your memories.
I'm going out for a hike.
Okay, be safe.
Okay.
Just got back from the show, if you can even call it that. I didn't sell a single piece, which isn't a surprise given the turnout. I know Dan had other things on his mind, but I told him how important it was to me. It was such a good opportunity to figure out what I want to do when we get back home, too. But I can't make up my mind based on such a half-hearted exhibit. Was that Dan's way of telling me he's not ready for me to go back? I don't want to read too much into it, at least not so soon, but it's really hard not to.
Oh.
I get it, but I think if she has that opinion, she doesn't know Dan very well, because I mean, it's clear, at least with the decisions we're making for him, it's clear that he wants to write the book. I certainly didn't choose the book over the forums as a way of blowing her off. I chose it as a way of maximizing the book.
Yeah.
So, oh, God.
I think
Hi.
it's a bit weird, but I think Linda is the kind of person who needs support like that.
Right.
And it's like, even if we're not intending it, she's not getting it.
Right.
So
Dan needs some peace. I'm really starting to think these two aren't made for each other anyway. Like,
Yeah.
they're just too different. Their goals are way too different.
You know, can always be better.
How was work?
Okay. Bet you he's in his office. And I lost that bet.
does that mean I don't owe you a cookie anymore?
No, you still owe me a cookie. That was a separate bet.
Aw.
Did it. Got it to Paul on Monday and just about dropped on the spot. Barely slept Sunday night, but damn it, I got it in. Abject terror is a pretty strong motivator. Linda understood, I guess. She had her own deadline, so at least she could identify, but in the end it was still a choice, and she didn't let me off the hook. Can't blame her, really. Sometimes you just have to make tough calls. That's why they're called tough calls.
Right.
I like that.
Grab some firewood, build a bonfire, and camp on the beach. Oh, for his day off. Dude, you're not getting a day off on the beach. You busted your butt for the book. That's great. Now it's
Yeah,
family
go
time.
on a hike with your wife and take your son to the rocket area place.
Yeah, okay. Linda, you've got the call here, so we're going to do the camping backpack for you. Oh wait, it's upstairs, I believe. Yeah, Linda, you need the thing. Okay. Camping backpack. Boom and boom. Okay. And yeah, we'll compromise off Tommy's and we'll let Dan stew about it for a while. I mean, shit, he should be able to relax a bit. I mean, yeah, okay, he wants to go camping on the beach. But whatever, he can camp with his wife and whatever. Okay, so we're gonna, yeah. September 7th for Claire Bradford. I realize now that this isn't about Roger. It's about me. I have to decide who I want to be. Marrying Roger will set so many things in motion. We'll be a well-to-do couple, safe and secure, with wonderful friends and loving families. I may slowly fade into being Roger's wife instead of Claire, but that will be society's doing, not Roger's. He loves me too much to do that. But what about my music? If I'm accepted at Berkeley, I don't know what we'll do. I can't ask him to quit his job a month after he starts. But what kind of couple lives in separate cities as soon as they get married? The decision can't be this black and white, can it? Position and safety versus a crazy pursuit alone? Is there a way to have it all? Do I even want it all? Will I ruin everything no matter what I choose? Second guessing. Story of my life. I don't know. There have been a lot of years where I've wondered what I wanted to do with my life, especially in high school, but ever since I started writing the book, and ever since I had enough people tell me that the book is publish worthy, no matter how long it takes me to edit it, that's what I've wanted to do. I haven't looked back and second-guessed myself about being a writer, being a novelist. It's something that I feel like I need to do it. I don't want to be still at Walmart in 30 years questioning myself why I never even tried with the book or whatever. That's why I can't give it up, and that's why I'm putting everything I have into it. I must succeed with the book. I must succeed. There are 3 bathrooms in this place. Anyway. Another day. Roger and I talked everything over, and it was a mistake to speak so soon. I never should have brought any of this up without making up my mind first. Now I've only made things more difficult. I guess I was daydreaming, and he asked me what was on my mind, and before I could help it, it just came out, although maybe I wanted to get it off my chest. I told him I wasn't sure if it was the right thing, or if it was the right time to get married, and it upset him badly. It didn't matter how many times I told him that I wasn't calling it off, that I just had questions, that I hadn't made up my mind either way. All he heard was that I didn't love him anymore. Which isn't true at all, but it didn't matter how many times I said that either. He's gone off for a drive, and now I'm here in the house alone. And I think I've made up my mind. I hope he gets back soon so I can tell him. Nice, not foreshadowing, but cliffhanger. Nice cliffhanger. Alright, we're gonna compromise off Tommy and get his rocket, and we're gonna do Linda and Tommy things, and Dan can go screw himself for a week. Alright.
That
Zip
house
over
looks
here.
so nice.
It is a nice house.
And it's haunted by
an
initiative ghost.
Yep. After dinner, Linda showed her family the pictures of Ochiko from the brochure she ordered, and Danny and Tommy agreed that it was a beautiful spot, even if it wasn't either of their first choices. So they went camping for the weekend, and on Saturday, Linda took the family on a trail she'd found. They hiked to a peaceful river for an afternoon swim, and she felt that all was right with the world. Tommy was so proud of finding the free admission special for Booster Bay that he couldn't understand why his parents hadn't taken him for free. Dan tried to explain the reasons, but it did little good. Tommy perked up when his father told him they would go before the summer was out, no matter what it cost. Man, I kind of feel like I should have done that the other way. Dan tried to work by jotting ideas in his notebook during the weekend's few spare moments, but it was no use. The break in routine disrupted his rhythm, and on the drive home he got so lost in thought trying to remember where he'd left off that he drifted off the road several times and almost crashed the car.
Whoa.
Didn't see that coming. I don't think I've ever been that lost in thought with my book. The funeral? That's not a good start. That night, Linda got a phone call. Oh boy. Well, we're going to find out what that phone call was in the next episode. Man, this game is harsh, like the Alchemist said before we started recording. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for another one.